Hi guys, welcome to Learn Electronics Repair. So it's that time again, car booty, yeah! And I've got all sorts of stuff this week. Something a bit different actually this time. But just before we start, I just want to mention that I've actually replaced the computer I was using to record the video. So I built another one, mostly out of second-hand bits from the car boot sale. So this is the i7-7700K. I now have a decent GPU in, second-hand one again. It's an RTX 2070 Super, but I only had a GTX 750 Ti in the other machine. Also, that machine was 4 gig of RAM, running 32 bits Windows 7. This is 16 gig DDR4, running Windows 10, 64 bits. So it should work quite a bit better, and I can now do hardware encoding of video using the GPU while I'm recording. And this, hopefully, if it works, this can be a live stream machine. We can get on some live streaming. I know I promised that a little while ago, so I'm now pretty well getting set up to do it. So I'm still using the original camera system and microphone system. If anything goes wrong during this video, you kind of know why. Teething problems, yeah. I've already had to plug the face camera into a different port a couple of times because it kept freezing, so we'll see, yeah. But there's no point upgrading the cameras until I know this is working stable. I do have some more kit here, so ongoing, I think, over the next few weeks now, or next month or two, you will see quite a few upgrades, and I want to be able to produce videos in higher resolutions or higher frame rates, okay? So I will be upgrading things step by step, one thing at a time, because that's the only way, just like when you're repairing stuff, to figure out what changes caused what to happen. Yeah, simple as that. So, car booty. I was at the market on Sunday and I bought 3 retro computers, and also the same guy had a pile of circuit boards. So I gave the guy €50 in total, and this is what I have. So I have this big heap of stuff. We can have a quick look at it, see if anything is useful, and then we can look at the computers. I also bought something else as well, which I'll show to you. But this is from this guy, the one I've been usually buying from the most often. He gave me another one of these SCSI cards. This is like the ones that came out of the IBM server that I had. I already have one of these. I could test them, but I don't think they're any particular value, but I have that. This is rather rusty, an old graphics card. It just came like this. But I can probably get some MOSFETs and things off here, maybe useful. Let's see, what is this exactly? It's quite old. Oh, GeForce 8800 GTX. So, surprisingly large GPU actually for that. One of the biggest ones I've seen, actually, surprising. But maybe we can just salvage some useful parts from that one. Another one, another little graphics card of some description. No heatsink on, nothing of any interest really. Off a laptop, I guess. Must be. Nothing of any interest, but I mean, I can take MOSFETs and things off these, just keep them in my stock, maybe useful at some point. Possibly these little connectors are worth keeping, so we can salvage from that. This was quite nice, which is the main reason I actually gave him the €5 for this heap of boards. So this is a slot 1, Pentium 2 or Pentium 3, SOYO. The problem with this, as you may have spotted straight away, it doesn't have an EEPROM chip fitted. So the only way I can get this to work would be to find an EEPROM file for this, and then program an EEPROM or ROM chip. It does actually tell me 28F002BX. There's a number in there. I don't know if that refers to the firmware or to the actual chip, yeah. You can see it there, look guys, so we do have a number on there. I think the best thing for me to do with this would be to take some photos, go to Vogon's forum, which, rather than be some reference to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, stands for Very Old Games on New Systems, and that's probably the best retro hardware forum on the internet if you don't know. In fact, I'll link it to this video description. And I'm pretty sure some of the guys there may be able to find me the EEPROM file and tell me what type of chip. And I'd have a go at fixing this. They're well worth fixing if we can get them working. The other thing is that the plastic bracket is broke, so there's supposed to be another one sticking up here. There's holds the CPU in place, but it would work without it. I mean, it will stay in unless you cause a lot of vibration. So we have that anyway, and that was the main thing for the €5 I gave him for all these PCBs. Here's another motherboard, missing the heatsink off the north bridge again. So just for salvageable parts really, but some decent capacitors and MOSFETs on it. So I'll just take interesting bits off this, and then unless I want to use it to demonstrate reballing, it's a scrapper, but with having some bits off first. Don't throw these things away until you've had what you think might be useful. Another one. This is it's a 775 board, okay, so Core 2, that sort of thing. I think it's a gigabyte board. Yeah, here we go. X38 DS5. I don't know if there's any value. I can have a look, but probably not. But we can have a look if it's of any value. But if it is of any value, then we can see if we can get this one working. The socket's pretty good. There's a little bit of damage in there, but we can probably fix that. Okay, so we have that. And we have this, which is another server board. Again, lots of nice capacitors for salvaging, but probably isn't of any other great use. But I have that lot, and for €5, I'm quite happy with the Pentium 2 board, slot 1, if I can get it to work. So some boards we can salvage parts from, a couple we can possibly look at. I then have 3 retro PCs, all with AGP, which we can have a look at on this video, see if we can get them working. And I also bought some items from another seller for €20, which is not PC related, but it is very much this channel related. Actually, I just had a quick look at this one. I couldn't see any for sale, but this has stuff missing. There's supposed to be heat pipes and heat sinks across here. So this is definitely going to be a scrap one, but I'm sure we can salvage some useful bits from it. So the other things I bought then, there were a couple of enclosures really. So this was at the sale. It looks almost homemade, but I don't think it is homemade. It has this on the front of it, but I thought this might be useful for a project box, to be quite honest. We can build something into this. I know we're doing quite a few interesting projects on the channel recently. Maybe one of the power supply projects could go into this. I'm sure I could fit another front across here, something made of acrylic. I can use a laser cutter to cut the various holes, so that even though this panel has holes in it, we can effectively cover over that with our own front panel. And I have another nicer one, yeah. So I paid the guy €20 for the two. The money is mostly in the other one, but I'll have a look. Let's see what's actually inside this, and then see how useful this would be for one of the projects. Okay, the top comes off, and that's what's inside it. So it's mainly empty, to be quite honest. A couple of fairly hefty magnets on these speakers, actually. Little amplifier boards, yeah, 2 of them. So I think we have some useful bits in here, and then a nice case we can use for one of our own projects. What's the power supply? It's a 12-volt adjustable power supply. So that's what's actually inside that one. I'll just show you a little bit closer. Okay, so we have these on each side. This is the push switch. This is the volume control on this one. So a little potentiometer, some strange sort of switch. And you can see the little amplifier board we have. Okay, this is actually amplifier chip. TDA4705. Okay, we have 2 of those and 2 of these on here, basically some little boards. I'm guessing then these are audio signal levels. Not sure I can get the focus for you guys. We can try. Yeah, okay. And then the other one, the other amplifier, okay. So that's what we have in there, all marked up with the various power rails and so on. So interesting stuff. Be very interested to see what you guys think we could do with this little cabinet, and maybe some of the parts are inside it, yeah? And here is the other one. So I paid him €20 for the two. This is an RF transmitter amplifier. 5 watts, I think it says. It says it goes up to 5 watts on the scale there anyway. So we have that. But what's nice with this is it has some very nice terminals on the back of it. It has a very nice heatsink on the back of it. Fuse power. And I'm pretty certain we can use this for one of our bench power supply projects. I'm certain of it. Maybe the one that we're going to do with the parts taken out of the old amplifier, okay? Let's open this up as well. Let's see what we've got inside this for our bit of money. It has a label on here. It says 1.1 gigahertz, 2 watt. So it's a UHF amplifier of some sort. Just a little circuit board with a 24 volt regulator on, a little toroidal transformer, and that's about it really. I'm guessing there's a rectifier in there somewhere. No, just 4 diodes on there. I'll show you. There you go, you can see now. So we have a transformer. It's a 26 volt 2 amp transformer actually. Well, he's fairly useful actually, to be quite honest. So mostly it's empty, but with this heatsink on the back, and it's very solid, okay, this will make a nice enclosure for one of our power supply projects. So I'm quite certain some of you guys will have some good ideas what to do with those cabinets I have, project cabinets. I thought they were worth the money personally, especially one with all the heat sinks on the back of it. So as I mentioned to start off with, I have 3 PCs as well, so these cost me €15 each. This is the first one of the 3. You can see it has beige drives. This is a beige case apart from this blue bit, but this is kind of slightly loose. Okay, and we have a QDI motherboard in here. This one is some sort of Athlon. I can see the edge of the processor from here. It is not a complete machine. It doesn't have a hard drive, so I think I'll actually just take this apart. It has one of those rattling around inside it. Okay, put that in the bin. So let's get this one apart. It looks quite clean actually, and we can see what we have. And do we have any profit? That's the question. Maybe even enough to make up for those 2 cabinets that I bought. And we have a couple of beige drives. This I thought was damaged. Well, that's a fact. It's just still had the little plastic thing on it. It's actually very nice and clean. That's an IDE. DVD. Oops, fell over. DVD rewriter. Another one, DVD-ROM. Usually it's worth about £12 each, and 50-50 that they work. In fact, actually no, I proved off a large batch that it's 66% chance they work. Floppy go with it. So I think we can probably say at least one of those is working and call that £12. We have a network card and a modem card. I never find any use for them, so they can go in the trash, basura as the Spanish call it. We have an ATI graphics card. Which one's this one? CGA 8564, not particularly familiar with that. It's some sort of 8500. Let's have a quick look. CGA-8564. The Club 3D something or other. TVD. What are you? Did someone ever found a Radeon 8500 LE in Europe? Oh. Well, I've just found one in Europe. Yeah. This is actually Vogon's forum. And there's a picture of one, which looks very similar to mine. Yeah, it looks just like mine. Okay, does that mean it's rare? Let's have a look. Well, it means they're like £45 rare. Okay, yeah. It's one of these. Let's see if these are actually sold. Okay, sold items. Oh yeah, they do sell, Luke. Yeah, they do sell. So we've got to put £45 down for that, and 12 for the at least one optical drive will be good, I'm sure. So yeah, that's like £56. Ding, yeah. Sound effect. Let's look at this motherboard. So here is our motherboard then. QDI IFPUDEUV KUDOZ 7E/333, and I'm fairly sure this is some sort of Athlon processor under there. It ain't a P4, that's for sure. Let's have a quick look. QDI IFPUDEUV 7E333. What have we got? Oh, okay, well, there's one there. I think slightly different to mine. There's a little connector on the end here. 109, but there's another one here for 17, and they both, that says it's new. That says pre-owned. There's another one. Yeah, put the postage on that. It's about 93. Another one. Yeah. Another one for 49.12. The price of these is all over the place. It's like, you can't really say. Have any sold? Let's have a look. Well, I don't see any in the sold listing, so I can't really put any value on this motherboard. There's none sold, so although there are a number on offer at a whole variety of prices, I don't think I can actually put this down as worth anything, but at least we did quite well with the graphics card. Okay. I'll put the graphics card in. I'm not sure about this, I just went for the wrong slot. Look at this one, guys. It's like a back to front PCI slot. Yeah, wrong way round and slightly offset. I have seen these before. It says ACR by it. Some sort of communications, audio and communications riser, something like that. I'm sure some of you guys know well what that is. Probably one of these things that somebody thought was a good idea, but nobody ever made anything that fits in it. It happens. Just prop this up on something a little bit. Okay. Let's connect the power supply and see. Well, now let's check for shorts on the 12 volts. Yeah. If it has a 12 volts. Not that I can see. Okay, not that I can see. So let's just get the power supply, I think, and we'll try this. Okay, we're ready to go then. Let's see what it does, if anything. Well, it starts. The fans are spinning. Nothing happening on the monitor and no bleeps. Okay. Let's take the RAM out and see. In fact, we'll take the RAM out and the graphics card out. Okay. Just the bare motherboard now. Does it bleep? Yeah. So I'm sure that's saying no RAM. Let's try the usual trick of cleaning the RAM slots with a bit of isopropyl. I'm just looking around the capacitors. All the capacitors look good, but they normally do look good on boards of this vintage. It's slightly later ones had all the problems. Okay, I think that's a lot cleaner now. Fits in nice and positively there. Maybe still just a little bit of liquid in there. We'll try it. Okay, let's give it a go. So power on, switch on. Interestingly, now it doesn't bleep at all. I would expect at least some sort of code to say there's no graphics card or some sort of blip to say it's okay. This one's right out now. Let's try another slot. Okay. Right, back to the bleeping for the RAM. We can try another strip of RAM. I'll try it back in this slot again. If it doesn't work, we'll try another strip of RAM. Well, it does something different, which makes me think it probably isn't the RAM. Let's put the graphics card back on, let's see. Okay. Nothing on the monitor. I think it's time to get the post analyzer card out. Okay, little post analyzer card. See if this gives us any more info. Well, it's obviously booting to a point, yeah. Something like some sort of boot loop look. Yeah. Just flickering. Take the graphics card off. Basically the same. Okay, take the RAM out. And bleeping for no RAM. Let me try another strip of RAM. So this is PC13. No, it's PC333. It's DDR400 basically. Actually, here's another identical strip, just by chance. This one looks like it's no. Oh, this one looks like it is working. Okay, so it seems like we have a duff strip of RAM there. Try the graphics card again. I'll move the monitor over. I expect we might get something this time. Yeah. Just set the input to VGA. See if we get a picture. Yes, we do. Okay, so we have an Athlon XP200 Plus. Let me just make it a bit bigger for you. There you go. Athlon XP 2000 Plus. It's seen that strip of RAM. I'll just try the other slots, but it is seeing the RAM okay. And we have the motherboard that we know. And the motherboard is either worth a lot of money or it isn't. But we know the graphics card's worth a decent amount. Okay? So that, I think that's a good one. But we'll just check the other RAM slots. I'm not sure if it will just work with one strip in another slot. We can have a go. Yeah, I think it's going to boot, yeah. I'll just try the last slot. If this works, I think we can call this a good one, and we'll have a look at the next machine. And quite possibly, I made enough money from this one to cover the cost of the 3 machines, the heap of boards, and the enclosures that I bought. It's going to boot. Okay. Yeah. Let's look at the next one. This looks similar age to the last machine. The case doesn't have any side panels on, neither did the last one. So we can see what's in it. It's all falling apart. This is another AMD machine, I'm pretty sure, like the last one was. Okay. No power supply in, just the motherboard, no hard drive. So this one might as well come apart as well, and then we can have a look to see what we have here. I think somebody must have heard my comments on the previous video that I don't get many AMD machines here because AMD XP 2 gigahertz, I would say. We have another AMD machine, yeah. This one, let's get rid of the screw that's balanced on it. Just trying to see who makes this motherboard. There's like a kind of a panel there where it might say, but it doesn't say anything. Okay. This has some bad capacitors, but they're not all bad. So this one I would try just to see if it will power up. I can just zoom down and show you. There. This one's gone. These actually look pretty much okay, at least visibly. In fact, it looks like physically that one's gone. I mean, the other ones may not be particularly good, but I suspect if this doesn't have some other problems, it will probably power up for us at least. Hard to say. Revision A0, it says there. Let me look underneath this. You probably can't see very well, it's all blurred because they're higher up against the camera. Never mind. Nobody seems to claim to have made this one. Maybe if we can get it to come on, we might get some idea. Okay, so again, there's no separate 12 volt connector on this. The VRMs will be running from this connector, but I'm going to power this one up and see what it does, I think. And let's see if we're lucky, yeah? See if we're lucky with this one. Obviously, it does need to be capping if I was going to sell this one. Hard to say if it's worth anything, so I don't even seem to have a model number on it. Okay. There's no onboard video on this one, so I'll have to put an AGP card in. Probably just grab the last one I was using, actually. Or on second thoughts, that last one seems to have a bit of value to it, so I'll just use something else. Yeah, let's see. Okay, no RAM on this one, so I will have to find a strip of RAM. Probably the last one I used again. In fact, actually, you know what, guys? I'll just take the graphics card out for now. I'll take the RAM out for now. We'll put a speaker on. We'll put the start button on, and let's see if there's any life in this. Okay, we'll give it a go. Power on. Start. No bleeps. Let's put the post analyzer card on. See if there's some life in this. Okay, guys, power on. No, it's just hanging, it's not booting. Chances are, or possibly that is just these bad capacitors. Let's see if we can just check the voltage to the V core. Okay. Just go again. So that'll be on one end of these MOSFETs. 1.7. This will be 12 volt. 5, yeah, so the 5 volts coming in. 1.7 on vehicle. That's probably quite reasonable for this type of processor, actually. Let's put some RAM in, see if it wants to do anything. I don't think it will make a difference. We can see. No, just 0, 1. Go again. Random codes. This is like it's just not starting. Okay. Let's check this CPU. Let's see what we have on this one. Well, it's an AMD Athlon. I probably have a spare one of these we can try. Socket 462. That's like the last machine was. So I don't see why we shouldn't try the processor off the last one, actually. Okay, this is the processor I just took off the other motherboard. See which way round it goes. That way, I think. Yep. These you really should clamp the heatsink back on again rather than just rest it on. These really require the pressure because this has a very small die. It can get very hot very fast. So these I always put the heatsink back on properly. You take a little bit of too much off probably. Heatsink compound, okay. Okay, that's on. Let's give it a try. Same sort of thing, so it's not just a processor. Okay guys, I think we'll have to recap this one and see if it does anything. These are the bad capacitors. They are 6.3 volt, 2200 microfarads, and there are 6 of them. Now I don't actually have any of the correct value of these, but these will all be connected in parallel. I can just check, but I'm fairly certain that will be the case. So if you look at it, we have 6 of these. So effectively that gives us 12,000 plus another 1,200. So we have like 13,200 microfarads with all these in parallel. Although I don't have any 2,200, I do have some 3,300. So if I replace these with 4, I'll just space them out as evenly as I can. 4 of the 3,300. Then if you add that up, that comes to 12,000, and another 1,200 is 13,200. So the capacitance will be exactly the same. The ESR may be slightly different with less of them in parallel, but that's what I'm going to fit. And let's see if this then will boot up. These are the capacitors here, and it looks like they are in parallel. I can just check. So if we go from this one to this one, the same end. This one, yeah. This one, this one, this one, and then the other end are all connected together as well. Yeah, so they're all in parallel. So I'll get these removed. I may actually fit all the 3,300s and a couple of lower value ones actually to make up the spaces. I probably will do that actually. So let's get these unsoldered. I'll just double check which end is the negative end, which are towards this side of the board, so I know which they are. I'll add a little bit of leaded solder. I should just be able to pull these out quite easily. Maybe a bit of flux would help as well, but it seems to be going okay. Okay, now we just take a larger chunk of solder and let's see. Yeah, it's coming out, see. Okay, next thing is to clean the holes. This will probably be easiest if I use hot air first, just to warm this area of the board up. Not enough to melt the solder, just to get the whole area warmer. Okay, and let's see. Yeah. That one didn't come. I'll try them all first and then we can come back to any that didn't come easily. Okay, that one didn't come. So I just have two of them that are being a little bit more troublesome. We can try adding a bit more solder, and if that doesn't do, we'll just warm it up with the hot air and then we'll use the desoldering gun. Yeah, you see that one got it. There was one other one. Yeah, it's here. Okay, there's always one, as they say. We'll use them both together. That got it, yeah. I'll just take a quick look around to see if there are any other visibly bad capacitors on here. And they all look okay. I'm not saying they are okay, but generally speaking, if they look okay, they're okay. There's two here, but they just look like they're dirty rather than bad. Okay. So let's get these fitted and now let's see what it does. Well, it came on and went off again. And doesn't want to start now. Standby still on, the light still lit up. Okay. I'll just switch it off. We don't have any shorts, do we? I mean, we didn't have a short before. Let's see. So 12 volts coming in is not short. Okay, 5 volts coming in. It reads into the hundreds of ohms. That's not a short. Okay, about almost 100 ohm. 3.3 volts. Similar, and that's probably the resistance from the power supply. Actually, let's take this off. So I've just disconnected the power supply. This is 12 volts, reading 12 kilo ohms. That's high. On this motherboard, the 5 volt is the one that powers the VRM, and that's climbing up into the hundreds of ohms. That's okay. Just check the meter. Yeah, that's fine. And this is your 3.3. So that's fine. This is your V core. So one end goes to ground. That's reading 11.9. That's the resistance of the CPU. This one will be ground. Okay. Yeah, and this will be the 12 volts, which we know is in the hundreds of ohms. So there's no short there. There's no short on the V core. He just decided to shut down and didn't want to come back on again. Let's try it again. Then it won't start. Okay. Until we switch the actual power off. Okay. Same sort of thing. Okay. I can check for shorts on the other voltage rails I can see, but I don't think this is a short. So there's a MOSFET down here. I'm guessing this is part of the RAM supply. There's a bit of voltage still on the board. Just gone to manual ranging. Sometimes it will do that, this meter. Kilo ohms. Okay, so it's not kilo ohms. Mega ohms. That suggests it's in the kilo ohms. And that suggests that effectively I'm switching some semiconductor junction on somewhere when I'm actually touching that. Try another meter. Ohms. $70K. This is why you need more than one multimeter, guys. Okay, climbing up. Another one here, voltage regulator, called MOSFET. Nothing really short. Another one here. MOSFET probably nothing really short. I think that's all of them. So it would appear that the board itself is shutting itself down. Let's change the CMOS battery. I'm sure that thing will be completely flat. I mean, we can check it. Okay. Yeah. Actually, no, 2.6 volts, but it's still flat. 3.1, that's good. Let's try it again. Yeah. Put the RAM in. Wait for the thing to go off. It's gone. Okay. Makes no difference, and none of that makes any difference. Let's have a look at the current that's being drawn from the CMOS battery. If this is more than a few microamps, it suggests there's a problem in the SIO or in the south bridge. I'll use the anemometer this time. I'm switching them backwards and forwards because this has the best microamps range basically. So with the board powered off, let's have a look. So positive onto the top of the battery, negative onto the little clip and push it backwards. That's fine. 3.27 microamps. So that reads okay. That tells me the real-time clock is running. Okay, so I'll try the other CPU again because this may be a faulty CPU and possibly that because the capacitors were bad it just didn't want to work anyway, even with a good one in. So let's give it a go. Okay guys, I've put the other CPU in. I haven't put the RAM back in just for the moment. Let's see what it does now, if it does anything differently. Okay. Well, yes, it behaves differently and doesn't switch off now. So this looks like we may have more than one problem with this. This CPU may be faulty. Let's put the RAM back in now. Okay, and we'll go again. Behaving differently with the RAM in. There's a little red LED on down here near to the RAM. I wonder if that's supposed to mean something apart from the one that's over here. Unfortunately, I don't have like a model number on this motherboard. What I can do is look at the voltages around here. I'm kind of assuming this is part of the RAM power supply. Let's have a look. I'm not sure what voltage this old RAM runs on, but we can see. So 3.1 there. 2.6 on that one. What's on this one? 2.5. I have to look up the voltage for DDR400. But it probably is 2.5 or something like that. Yes, 2.5 to 2.6 is exactly correct for that RAM. The other possibility is that there's something wrong with the jumper settings on here. So this will set the front side buzz speed. I don't know what's the correct setting for this CPU. I'd have to go and Google that, I think. But let's see. So at the moment, this is the front side buzz. That's set to 133. Okay, that's set to 133. And the other one is a multiplier, I think. No, I'm not sure what that one is. It seems to be something different. Possibly the multiplier is set in the BIOS, which I can't get into. Let's try setting the front side buzz down to the slowest, which is in fact 100, and see what this does. So I need to put another jumper on here. Okay, let's try it. So that sets it down to 100. Let's see what it does now. Doesn't really have any particular effect. RAM back in. I can say it behaves differently with RAM or without RAM. Yeah. I've just tried another RAM strip as well, but that also made no difference. I think I'll have to put this one down as a no fix at the moment. If anybody knows what this motherboard is, then if I can find a manual, maybe I can check these jumper settings. But I've tried the slowest clock speed. You would assume that might actually work. So it looks like this one probably isn't going to get fixed, at least not today. It's not a problem. I put these capacitors in, I can soon remove them if I decide to salvage parts from this board rather than fix it. I don't think there's much else we can do with it right now, so let's have a look at the other one. It does just go to show, I mentioned on that last one, that even if you have a motherboard with bad capacitors and you recap it, doesn't necessarily mean it will work. Yeah, it's one of those things, but it does happen, and there's a good proof of it. Okay, so this is the last one. This looks like it's being run over by a truck. Yeah, really? I don't know. It looks like somebody's run over this. Yeah. This was with it. And this is inside it. So, this is a Gigabyte 8ST667. I'm not familiar with this board particularly. Could in fact be another AMD machine, but looking at the heatsink, it looks more like it's a Pentium 4 machine with AGP. Okay. It in fact is, because it tells us on here on the sticker lots of information, and it's a bit hard to see from the angle I have it at, but it does say socket 478. So this is a Pentium 4. Okay, let's see if we have a bit more luck with Intel than we did with the AMD machine. Yeah, this has a hard drive in, so I think we'll try this. We'll try and power this one up and see what it does. Let's find out if running it over with a truck or whatever they've done to it actually did it any harm. Yeah, it's interesting, I'm sure. Just having a quick look. The capacitors look okay in here. Get a bit more light in maybe. There you go. Capacitors are looking okay. We'll check for short circuits on the 12 volts, and then if it looks okay, we'll try this with the current limiting light bulb. I've just zoomed down a little bit so you can see yourself that this looks quite okay in there. Let's look for some short circuits. So ohms range, meter's good. You see I always do that, by the way, test the meter before I use it. It's very good practice. There is no short on that. Right, let's power it up. Actually guys, I'm not going to power it up because this is all broken off and fell inside. There could be some short in there. So I'm actually going to remove the motherboard and the various other components, and we'll test them on the bench with a good power supply. Here's the motherboard. This is a P4 Titan 667 or GA8ST667. I've had this exact same board before. In fact, I'm sure I have one in my stash of parts. This is the backing plate. This is the little graphics card that was in there. This is a GeForce 2 MX400, 64 meg. These are very common, but often used. Graphics card by retro gamers, Windows 98 retros gamers. Yeah, so we have that one. The hard drive is a 40 gigabyte IDE, obviously. Just a little USB bracket that fits onto here. And then we have the optical drive, so LG DVD ROM. As I say, these normally fetch about £12 or so, sometimes a bit more. And this strange thing. It appears to be just like a box. It says CD home on the front of it, if we can get it into focus. Okay, you can probably just see it a little bit better there, CD home. Guessing this opens one way or another. Oh, it's shut. I guess it's this way up as well. Do you know, guys, I really don't know what that thing's supposed to be. Just like a place for keeping your spare CDs. Yeah, I bet this is like a... It's jammed, but I reckon this is like... I can see inside it now. Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. Can get the thing to open. 8 pieces it says on the end of it. It's rather scratched, unfortunately. It's a shame. It's damaged, otherwise some retro buyer might just actually like that thing. But I can't get it to open. Oh no. It's a shame. But I think you can probably see inside if I get the torch. That's probably making it worse actually, but there's like little plastic trays inside here, like CD holding trays. Okay. So that's what it is, it's a CD holder. It goes into your computer. Never seen one before, guys. Maybe you have. No, I still can't get it to open. Unless it like is too complicated for me to understand. Yeah. Or unless it's just broken, basically. Okay. Let's have a look at our motherboard. We'll get a known good power supply. And we'll see. We know there's no shorts already. We'll check for that. let's see what it does. I've removed the RAM. I have a speaker attached, so it should bleep. Well, it powers up. That's a good start. But it doesn't bleep. That's not such a good thing. I'll put the post analyzer card in. That'll give us a better idea. And there is the analyzer card. And we have another one that doesn't boot at all. I've just decided to check a few things then. So I've taken the heatsink off just to see if the CPU is seated properly, which I'm just going to try now. So that is seated. This says 2A gigahertz. Yeah, I've never seen one say that before. 2A gigahertz. It's a 400 meg front side buzz. The 800 meg ones are the valuable ones, so it's not particularly a valuable one or a rare one or a sought after one, but that is seated okay. The CMOS battery, we can just go and have a look, but that is completely flat, so we can change that. And resistance wise, so this is the RAM supply, I'm pretty sure. We're on to ohms. I am on ohms. I don't think I had a good ground actually there. Okay, so this will be the output at 100 ohms. That seems fine. The V core, which is over here, so we have a few phases. One end of one of the MOSFETs will be 12 volts. In fact, it's not that end. That's reading 10.6, which will be the same as the source on that one. So that's the resistance of the CPU. That seems perfectly fine. But I will try another CPU in this. This is the 12 volts coming in. It's not short, it's fine. There's another regulator here somewhere. That one, you can just check it. 100 odd ohms, that's probably okay. So I don't see any shorts on this as such. We can change the CMOS battery. This is definitely faulty, or rather flat. Okay. Put another one in, just check it. Actually, that reads like a dead one. Let's just take it back out a moment. Just check the battery. That actually is a bad battery. Let's try another one. That reads good. Check it in here. Yeah, so there's not a short or anything there. Let's look at the current on that as well. Worth checking. Microamps. Battery to the clip and push it back. Yeah, that's good. 3.5. Anywhere between about 1.8 and 10 is good. Depends on the motherboard. Shouldn't be any more than that for sure. No more than 10. So everything sort of looks okay on this one. I think we can try another CPU, but I'll just try it first with this CPU because I've now reset it into the socket. Let's see if that makes any difference. Okay, power on. Nothing. Okay, I'm sure I can find another CPU to put in this. Let me have a look. Okay, this is actually a slightly faster one with a slightly faster front side buzz. This one's a 400, this is a 533, but I'll be interested to see what it does. I don't think there's any jumper settings on these. I'm sure it's set in the BIOS, in fact. Okay, let's give this one a go. Doing the same thing. Okay, let's have a look at a few of the voltages on this one. So we'll power on. In fact, actually, this kind of like comes on and goes dim on the little analyzer, I've noticed. Okay, so the V core. Something's wrong here, guys. Something's wrong here, I think. I'll just go to the 12 volts coming in. I'm going to show you. So 12 volts coming in. Okay. Switch this on and start it. It goes 12 and then 9. Is my power supply packed in? My test power supply? Or is this board drawing a lot of current? But if it was drawing that much current to drop the 12 to 9, surely this thing would just not work, yeah? If it was drawing that much current, it would shut down or blow a fuse or something. Okay, here's my other known good one, the one I was using previously, with a 20-way connector on. Okay. I'll put the original CPU back in as well. I'll put the voltmeter on there so we can see what voltage we have on the 12 volts as it powers up as well. So ground 12, okay, ready to go. Okay, so that shut the power supply down. So this has somewhere something drawing a lot of power. That's interesting, because we don't see any short circuit. Yeah, half a meg. Let's take the CPU out, okay? Because that effectively is a low resistance. Take the CPU out of this. Let's try it again and measure the voltage. Okay. If there's a problem in the V-core VRM, without the load it shouldn't do that. That's what I'm thinking, yeah? Let's go. Power supply on. No. I figured out what's wrong with it, guys. I think. My current limiter switched on. My current limiter switched on. Yeah. That's what that's doing. I saw the light in the corner of my eye. Yeah. This stuff happens, guys. Some days you just have days like this and this stuff happens, yeah. And I'm honest enough to show you that, because it'll happen to you, yeah. It'll happen to you, and you'll think this never happens to them guys on YouTube. Well, it does, my friends, it does, yeah. Let's go again. So power on, 12 volts, booting. Well, booting to where the point there is no RAM. I didn't have the current limiter on the previous one, by the way, guys. I switched that on because I said I'm going to boot this up, you know, as it is, and then I changed my mind because the power supply was physically broken, the connectors on it, okay. And that's when it got switched on, and then I forgot to switch it off again. Okay, let's go again. So RAM in there, yeah. Let's go again. That's kind of like saying there's a problem with the RAM. That flicking with the C1. Let's clean the sockets on this and let's see if it works. Okay, I've cleaned the RAM slot, I've cleaned the RAM. Let's try it again. Well, it's now going a little bit further, but I don't get any sound out of this either. I'm just wondering if maybe I have the speaker on the wrong place. I think I do. Let's try this. Try again. Okay. Yeah, now it's bleeping. Switch this out. Yeah, the RAM slot's still got some isopropyl in as well. Actually, I need to dry it. Try it without any RAM. Doesn't actually bleep. RAM back in. Yeah, and now it's saying there's no graphics card. Okay. Okay, I've put the monitor on, plugged in, graphics card in. Let's see what this does now. That's the fan on the graphics card you can hear. I got some bleeps out of it. But no picture. Let's go back to the analyzer card. Okay. Try. So, power. That's the point where it should pick up the graphics card. Ah, and it is working. Ah, but it's a bad graphics card. Yeah, lines all over the screen. Okay, so that's got to be like the craziest reason for a motherboard not to boot that I've ever done. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, really. It was funny. But this stuff happens, guys. Yeah, it happens. It happens to me. Anyway, and I suspect in the comments below, I'll be hearing it happens to some of you guys as well. So, obviously this graphics card's got a problem. We've now got the motherboard to boot up. This video is far too long, so let's have a quick look to see if this is worth any money. I think I've looked before and they were like about €40. We can have a look. And yeah, this is effectively the right, but actually they're slightly different. So this name gets used often, but mine's that one, 8ST667. So let's search for that one. It seems the name P4 Titan, they've used on quite a few. So there's one for sale, £25 plus 22 postage from Italy. That's about £47. There's somebody trying to sell one for £290. You find this quite often, to be quite honest. And there's somebody else got another one for £25 and £11.55 postage. So why they come up with these amounts, I really don't know. Let's see if any of these have actually sold. Well, one sold, and it sold for $87.96 without a CPU. Yeah. So, guys, go and figure that out. That was sold on the 12th of December. I'm going to put mine down as worth 45. That's what the cheap ones are, including the postage. So I'm going to say 45, but yeah. Comments below. Yeah, some crazy stuff going on in this video today. I think we can all agree. And there we are, guys. Let's call that a day then. A lot of work for a few machines. Not much profit in it, but it paid for those enclosures, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun with those, with some of the projects that we're making. Certainly, I think one of the power supplies can go into one of those. So I hope you enjoyed it anyway. There's only one we didn't fix. Probably not worth the hassle, but any suggestions? I mean, maybe reprogramming the BIOS on it might get it working. But the problem is I don't know what the motherboard is, the model. Yeah. So I don't know. But if somebody else knows, we can try that. Okay, thank you for watching Learning Electronics Repair, and I'll see you all soon. Ciao for now, guys.